God says, "My child, before you let your mind rush into fear or pressure, understand this clearly. The divine transfer is not about sudden loss or punishment, it is about readiness, alignment, and awareness." When you hear that something is set for you at a specific moment, it is not meant to create anxiety, it is meant to awaken intention. There are moments in life that feel symbolic, moments that represent a shift in mindset, discipline, and clarity. Tonight at 9:00 p.m. represents such a checkpoint in your journey. It is not about missing something forever, it is about choosing to step into what has already been prepared for you internally. Archangel Michael says you have been preparing longer than you realize. The lessons you faced, the disappointments you processed, the discipline you slowly built, the boundaries you quietly strengthened, all of these were shaping you for a new level of responsibility. A transfer cannot happen without capacity. Capacity is built through patience, reflection, and self-control. You did not gain these qualities overnight. You developed them step by step. That development is what makes you ready now. God says, "My child, the blessing meant for you is not fragile. It does not disappear because of a moment of distraction. However, alignment matters. When you are distracted by doubt, comparison, or fear, you delay your own readiness. When you focus clearly, act intentionally, and trust your growth, you accelerate your progress." The message is not about losing everything, it is about not ignoring your own potential. Potential ignored feels like loss, but potential activated feels like transformation. You have been sensing that change is near. Perhaps your thinking has become sharper. Perhaps your tolerance for negativity has decreased. Perhaps your ambition feels stronger than before. These are signs of internal transfer. Internal shifts always happen before external results appear. The world changes around you when you change within yourself. Tonight symbolizes a decision point. Will you continue operating from old habits, or will you step into the disciplined version of yourself you have been slowly becoming? Archangel Michael says there are opportunities surrounding you that require focus to recognize. Opportunities do not always announce themselves loudly. Sometimes they appear as ideas, conversations, small openings, or new perspectives. If your mind is clouded by fear or distraction, you miss them. If your mind is clear and centered, you notice them. Awareness is the gateway to receiving. Receiving requires recognition. God says, "My child, you are not being pressured, you are being reminded. Reminded that your growth deserves attention. Reminded that your future depends on your consistency. Reminded that time moves forward whether you prepare or not." Tonight at 9 p.m. can become a powerful symbolic reset. A moment where you pause, reflect, and recommit to your discipline. A moment where you release hesitation. A moment where you choose clarity over confusion. The greatest transfer happening is the transfer from doubt to self-trust. You have questioned yourself too often. You have underestimated your capacity. You have delayed decisions because you feared imperfection. But progress does not require perfection. It requires courage. Courage to act before certainty is complete. Courage to move forward even when outcomes are not guaranteed. Archangel Michael says you are entering a stage where consistency will matter more than emotion. Emotional motivation fades. Structured discipline remains. If you want to receive what is meant for you, you must maintain habits that support it. Habits protect momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence attracts opportunity. God says, "My child, nothing meant for you will vanish unfairly." However, growth ignored can create regret. Regret comes from knowing you could have acted, but chose delay. Let tonight represent action. Action in small steps if necessary, but action nonetheless. Write your goals. Review your plans. Eliminate distractions. Strengthen boundaries. These steps align you with what you are meant to receive. The divine transfer is not about fear of loss, it is about awareness of readiness. You are ready for more responsibility. You are ready for clearer focus. You are ready for structured growth. Step into that readiness intentionally. God says, "My child, as you move deeper into this awareness, understand that what is being described as a divine transfer is not a sudden event that falls from the sky without preparation. It is the result of an internal shift that has been building quietly within you for months, maybe even years, and tonight at 9:00 p.m. symbolizes a decision point where you either step fully into the disciplined version of yourself or continue delaying the greatness that has been waiting for your full commitment. Nothing is being taken from you unfairly, but everything that is meant to unfold requires participation, and participation requires focus, intention, and emotional maturity. Archangel Michael says you have already noticed changes within yourself. Your tolerance for distraction has decreased. Your patience for negativity has shortened. Your desire for meaningful progress has intensified. These are not random feelings, they are indicators that your internal environment is reorganizing itself. When the internal environment changes, external circumstances eventually respond. But many people miss their own momentum because they expect dramatic signs instead of subtle preparation. Preparation is often quiet. It shows up as new habits forming slowly. It shows up as stronger boundaries developing naturally. It shows up as clearer thinking replacing emotional reaction. You are in preparation mode, and preparation is powerful. God says, "My child, there is something important about timing." Timing is not about pressure, it is about awareness. When you hear that something is set for 9 p.m., it is not about fear of missing a blessing, it is about choosing to be conscious instead of distracted. How many times have opportunities passed simply because your attention was divided? How many times have ideas faded because you delayed action? Delay often feels safe in the moment, but over time it creates stagnation. You are being reminded that awareness must meet opportunity halfway. You may feel a subtle urgency in your heart, not panic, but a sense that you cannot keep postponing your growth. That feeling is not anxiety, it is awakening. Awakening makes you uncomfortable with your old patterns. It challenges you to release habits that no longer serve your direction. It encourages you to stop waiting for ideal conditions and start acting with imperfect courage. Courage does not remove fear. It moves forward despite it. Archangel Michael says the divine transfer represents a transfer of identity. You are moving from someone who hopes for change to someone who commits to change. You are moving from someone who reacts to circumstances to someone who creates structure within circumstances. This shift is not visible immediately, but it transforms everything over time. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. If you change your identity internally, your outcomes will inevitably change externally. God says, "My child, discipline is the bridge between potential and manifestation." You may have great ideas, strong intentions, and powerful desires, but without structured action, those desires remain unrealized. Structured action does not require perfection. It requires consistency. Small consistent steps outperform large inconsistent bursts of motivation. Tonight can become your symbolic commitment to consistency. A quiet promise to yourself that you will act even when you do not feel like it, that you will focus even when distractions tempt you, that you will continue even when results are slow. There is also something important about self-trust in this season. You have doubted yourself too often. You have questioned whether you are ready. You have wondered whether you deserve more. But readiness is built through action, not through endless thinking. Deserving more comes from becoming more disciplined, more aware, more intentional. You are not waiting for validation, you are building qualification. Archangel Michael says opportunities are attracted to clarity. When your goals are vague, your actions become scattered. When your goals are clear, your energy concentrates. Concentrated energy creates visible progress. Visible progress builds confidence. Confidence sustains momentum. Momentum attracts alignment. This chain reaction begins with clarity. Tonight at 9 p.m. can be the moment you rewrite your goals clearly, simplify your priorities, and remove unnecessary distractions. God says, "My child, nothing that is meant for you will disappear because of one missed moment, but growth ignored repeatedly creates distance between you and your potential. Distance creates regret. Regret creates frustration. You are being invited to reduce that distance now. Reduce it by choosing discipline over delay. Reduce it by choosing focus over distraction. Reduce it by choosing action over hesitation. This is not about fear. It is about responsibility. Responsibility for your habits. Responsibility for your time. Responsibility for your mindset. When you accept responsibility calmly, without self-criticism, you gain control. Control does not mean controlling everything externally, it means controlling your responses internally. Internal control stabilizes external results. Archangel Michael says you are stronger than you realize. The challenges you faced did not weaken you, they refined you. The setbacks you experienced did not disqualify you, they educated you. The delays you endured did not destroy your path, they prepared you for better decisions. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. Experience combined with discipline creates powerful transformation. God says, "My child, let tonight represent alignment, not anxiety." Alignment with your goals. Alignment with your values. Alignment with your future vision. Sit quietly. Reflect honestly. Ask yourself whether your daily habits match your long-term desires. If they do not, adjust gently but firmly. Adjusting is strength. Admitting the need for change is courage. The divine transfer is already unfolding within you. It is the transfer from distraction to focus, from doubt to self-trust, from reaction to intention. Step into that transfer consciously. Embrace the discipline required to sustain it. Protect your energy from unnecessary noise. Guard your focus carefully. Continue building steadily. God says, "My child, as this moment approaches in your mind, understand that the real transfer is not something external being handed to you without effort. It is the activation of everything you have been quietly building inside yourself, because growth does not suddenly appear at a specific hour. It matures through repeated choices, silent discipline, unseen sacrifices, and the decision to keep moving even when motivation fades." Tonight at 9:00 p.m. represents awareness. And awareness is powerful because when you become conscious of your readiness, you stop underestimating your capacity. And start behaving like the person your future requires. Archangel Michael says you have outgrown certain patterns, and you feel it. You feel less interested in temporary distractions. You feel less excited by drama. You feel more drawn toward stability, structure, and meaningful progress. That shift is not accidental. It is maturity forming quietly within you. Maturity changes what you tolerate. Maturity changes how you invest your time. Maturity changes how you respond to opportunities. You are no longer chasing noise, you are seeking alignment. Alignment creates sustainable success. God says, "My child, sometimes you confuse delay with denial, but they are not the same. Delay is preparation. Denial is absence. You were never denied growth, you were being prepared for responsibility. Responsibility requires emotional stability, financial awareness, disciplined habits, and strong boundaries. Without these qualities, sudden expansion would create overwhelm. But now you are developing these qualities steadily. You are thinking more long-term. You are planning more carefully. You are reacting less emotionally. These are signs that capacity is increasing. There is something important about consistency in this stage of your life. You may not see dramatic results daily, but your consistency is shaping invisible progress. Invisible progress becomes visible suddenly, and people often call it luck. It is not luck, it is preparation meeting opportunity. Opportunity does not stay long when preparation is absent. But when preparation exists, opportunity feels natural instead of overwhelming. You are becoming prepared. Archangel Michael says self-trust is deepening within you. You no longer need constant reassurance to move forward. You are starting to validate your own decisions. That independence is crucial for the next level of growth. If you rely on external validation, you hesitate too long. When you trust your judgment, you act with clarity. Clarity accelerates movement. Movement builds momentum. Momentum changes outcomes. God says, "My child, the fear of losing everything is not about external loss, it is about the regret of unused potential. The only true loss is the potential you refuse to activate." When you ignore your own growth repeatedly, you distance yourself from what could have been. But tonight is not about regret, it is about correction. You can correct your focus. You can correct your habits. You can correct your mindset. Correction is power. It proves that your future is still in your hands. You may have been waiting for a sign that you are ready. This is the sign. Readiness does not mean you feel completely confident. It means you are willing to move despite uncertainty. It means you are willing to commit to discipline even when excitement fades. It means you choose progress over comfort. Comfort feels safe, but growth lives outside comfort. Archangel Michael says the transfer you are stepping into is a transfer of responsibility. You are being trusted with more influence over your own direction. You are being trusted with clearer vision. You are being trusted with sharper discernment. But influence requires focus. Vision requires discipline. Discernment requires emotional control. These are qualities you are building intentionally. God says, "My child, your time is valuable. Your energy is limited. Where you place your attention determines your results. Attention scattered produces average outcomes. Attention concentrated produces excellence. Excellence is not perfection, it is focused consistency. Begin protecting your attention fiercely. Remove unnecessary noise. Limit exposure to negativity. Reduce time spent on habits that do not serve your future. These small adjustments create large shifts over time. There is also a refinement happening in your identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who hopes for miracles without action. You see yourself as someone who participates in your own breakthrough. Participation is empowering. When you participate, you feel control. When you feel control, you feel confidence. Confidence fuels persistence. Persistence delivers results. Archangel Michael says, "Do not rush the process, but do not ignore it either." Balanced urgency is powerful. Urgency without panic. Action without chaos. Focus without obsession. That balance keeps you stable while progressing steadily. Stability ensures that when expansion arrives, you sustain it rather than lose it through poor decisions. God says, "My child, tonight can be your quiet commitment to the person you are becoming." Not a loud declaration, not dramatic change overnight, but a steady decision to align your daily habits with your long-term vision. Write down your priorities. Simplify your goals. Strengthen your routines. Protect your sleep. Guard your focus. Improve one small behavior daily. These actions compound. The divine transfer is already unfolding. It is the transfer from hesitation to intention, from distraction to discipline, from doubt to self-belief. Step into it consciously. You are not behind. You are not late. You are awakening. Awakening creates momentum when paired with action. God says, my child, as you reach this stage of awareness, the most important realization is that nothing external can truly be transferred to you until something internal has been stabilized within you, because success without stability collapses under pressure, opportunity without discipline creates chaos, and expansion without clarity leads to confusion. What you are experiencing right now is not pressure to act out of fear. It is an invitation to recognize that your preparation phase is reaching maturity. The habits you started forming quietly, the boundaries you strengthened without announcing, the focus you rebuilt after distractions, all of these have been shaping you into someone capable of sustaining more responsibility. Tonight at 9 p.m. represents a checkpoint of self-recognition, not a threat of loss but a confirmation of readiness. Archangel Michael says you have been evolving mentally in ways that others may not fully see. Your thinking has become more strategic. You question impulsive decisions more carefully. You measure your words before speaking. You evaluate long-term consequences instead of chasing short-term satisfaction. These are signs of elevated thinking. Elevated thinking produces elevated outcomes. But elevated outcomes require consistent action to maintain. The transfer you are stepping into is not dramatic noise, it is disciplined movement. It is choosing focus when distraction is available. It is choosing patience when frustration appears. It is choosing growth when comfort calls you back. God says, my child, you may have once believed that breakthroughs arrive suddenly and without warning, but now you are understanding that breakthroughs are the visible result of invisible repetition. Every time you resisted procrastination, you strengthened momentum. Every time you chose learning over complaining, you strengthened capacity. Every time you stayed calm instead of reacting emotionally, you strengthened. Stability. Stability attracts trust. Trust attracts opportunity. Opportunity rewards preparation. You are not unprepared. You are becoming aligned. There is something powerful about self-discipline in this season of your life. Self-discipline is not restriction, it is protection. It protects your time from being wasted. It protects your attention from being scattered. It protects your emotional energy from being drained by unnecessary conflicts. When you guard these areas carefully, your progress accelerates naturally. You no longer move randomly, you move intentionally. Intention reduces regret. Regret drains confidence. Reduced regret builds momentum. Archangel Michael says this stage of your journey requires quiet commitment. Not loud promises to others, not dramatic declarations on social platforms, but private discipline that compounds over time. Private discipline builds public results. Public results without private discipline fade quickly. You are learning to prioritize consistency over excitement. Excitement fades. Consistency remains. Remain consistent even when you do not feel immediate results. God says, my child, the fear of losing everything often comes from misunderstanding your own power. You are not dependent on a single moment for your destiny. Destiny unfolds through repeated decisions. One moment does not destroy what is meant for you, but repeated neglect of your growth can delay it. Tonight symbolizes a reminder to stop neglecting your potential. It symbolizes stepping fully into responsibility for your habits, your focus, and your emotional management. You may have noticed recently that your tolerance for distractions has reduced significantly. Things that once consumed hours of your time now feel unimportant. Conversations that once entertained you now feel draining. This shift is not isolation, it is elevation. Elevation changes what feels comfortable. It narrows your focus toward what genuinely contributes to your progress. Narrow focus increases results. Archangel Michael says clarity is your greatest asset right now. When you clarify what truly matters, decision-making becomes easier. When decision-making becomes easier, hesitation decreases. When hesitation decreases, momentum builds. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence strengthens identity. Identity determines behavior. And behavior determines outcome. This chain begins with clarity. God says, "My child, you are being invited to trust your preparation. Trust that you have learned from past mistakes. Trust that you have grown from previous disappointments. Trust that you are capable of sustaining more responsibility than before." Doubt weakens action. Trust strengthens action. Choose trust deliberately. This moment is also about emotional independence. You cannot rely on constant encouragement from others to stay consistent. External motivation fluctuates. Internal discipline remains. Develop routines that do not depend on mood. Develop habits that operate even when excitement is absent. Habits create structure. Structure creates stability. Stability creates sustainable growth. Archangel Michael says the divine transfer is not about material gain alone, it is about mental expansion. A broader perspective. A stronger focus. A calmer response to challenges. These qualities ensure that when opportunities appear, you handle them wisely instead of emotionally. Emotional decisions often sabotage progress. Calm decisions protect it. God says, "My child, release the belief that you are behind. You are not behind, you are becoming refined. Refinement takes time. Diamonds are not formed instantly. Character is not strengthened overnight. Your patience has strengthened you. Your reflection has matured you. Your persistence has shaped you. Continue refining without rushing. Tonight can be your silent reset. Sit quietly. Reflect honestly. Evaluate your habits. Strengthen your routines. Remove one distraction. Improve one skill. Clarify one goal. Small focused improvements produce powerful long-term impact. Growth does not demand dramatic change, it demands consistent improvement. The transfer is already happening within you. It is the transfer from uncertainty to intention, from scattered energy to disciplined focus, from passive wishing to active building. Step into that identity fully. Do not rush it. Do not fear it. Embrace it steadily. If this message resonates deeply with your spirit, comment, "I commit to my next level," below. Like and subscribe if you are ready to protect your focus, strengthen your discipline, and fully step into the growth prepared for you.